Hey guys, and welcome back to the Resident Evil 6 playthrough. We are now in part 20 and we're going to start with Jake's campaign.
Also, I've killed Colin and become his replacement.
Well, I was about to say, Colin, what your balls have dropped with that deep voice now. But no, unfortunately, Colin is... excuse me. Colin is not going to be able to join us for the rest of this playthrough because of personal life.
Because I killed him.
No, it was not in your contract.
No, Manic Depressed Luigi did it. It's all part of the plan.
You and that bloody green doll.
I swear, that thing is evil.
So, Resident Evil 6. What about your experience then, Stevie, since this is technically the first time you're appearing in this?
Well, I remember the launch for this game. It was one of those instances where I couldn't get the game for quite a long time, and you kept taunting me about that. You kept saying, what was it? I'm getting ready to play Leon. I couldn't get it for quite some time, but...
But were you excited for the build-up, or were you a little bit worried?
Yeah, the build-up, again, was pretty awesome. Especially with the first trailer, where it showed a lot of horror elements with Leon.
But well, how did you feel about the end product of the way it became now?
It's not terrible, but I'd say it's average at best.
Well, I did say that it's, out of the modern trilogy of Resident Evil, it's the weakest.
Yeah. 4 and 5 are my favorites.
Again, that doesn't mean that the game is bad. I think the game, it controls fine. It's just that I think the direction was they didn't know what they went to go, because they tried the way they did the structure of the 4 campaigns is that they're trying to please every critique of fan, if you know what I mean.
Well, you'll see that the most with this campaign, especially in Chapter 2. Good God.
Right, for those who are wondering, this is Jake Mueller, a mercenary. And the Bond woman is Sherry Birkin from Resident Evil 2, who is now a government agent for the same agency as Leon S. Kennedy.
Yeah, because, again, Leon was pressured into helping the government in order to guarantee Sherry's safety.
And I believe that they kept Sherry in check because she was affected with the G-virus, but she got the vaccine just before she could mutate.
And Claire, and it's documented that Claire actually did come and visit her when she was under captivity. So I say.
You lose something?
Just my balance.
Hi, Troy Baker.
Aye. Jake Mueller was voiced by Troy Baker, and who was Sherry? Eden Regan?
Eden Regal.
Aye, Sam Regal's sister.
Yeah. He was another great actor.
Mm-hmm. Right, now this is the 3rd campaign in the playthrough, and since Stephen here has already helped very kindly with Resident Evil 6 on Chris's campaign, and with Adele for Leon, this is when Abby, if you remember from Resident Evil 5, will come back and help with Jake's campaign, so she'll be in the control of Mr. Mueller.
Yay, the more the merrier.
I think you kind of notice when this playthrough actually, well, from your side, Stevie, because at the time when we recorded this, you weren't a member of the team.
Yeah.
Well,
I am.
Well, now you are. You got yourself a promotion.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm saying that this playthrough is basically where I let the special guests take the control of the main character of the story, while I'm the side character.
Yep.
Ironic, don't you think?
Yep. And we got helicopters shooting at us. Wonderful.
Everyone in your platoon is one of those Juavo now.
Because Jake was a part of this rebel group, so...
Yeah, and what you saw in the cutscenes where... What happened in that is that basically they were told that this serum would enhance their abilities, but little did they know it was the C virus, and that would turn them into Juavos.
The only one immune was Jake. We'll find out why later. Whee!
Usually if you get a melee kill from the back of the enemy, it's an insta-kill.
Yeah. I don't think I ever pulled that one off.
You have to be really fast to get that one. And yeah, unfortunately the helicopter's mistaken us for the Juavo gang.
I have been blown the fuck up here before. Like in speedruns or whatever, I ran out, here's Jake, and then just got blown up. Took a lot. Just like Abby there.
Right, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before in the previous 2 campaigns, but every character in the story gets their own unique weapons. For Jake, he'll have his hand-to-hand combat, which is similar to what Wesker's fighting style was. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, Jake Mueller is Albert Wesker's son.
They don't do a very good job of hiding it, especially if you kept up with the trailers before this game released.
Now, this Chihuahua up here, actually, it's got invincibility frames until he stops being the shit out of that soldier.
So no Saving Private Ryan here.
Anyways, I was saying, with the exclusivity weapons, Jake has his hand-to-hand, along with his standard handgun. Sherry has a stun rod and her handgun, which also acts as a third round burst.
If you're going for high accuracy, you'll want to change it to single fire.
Mm-hmm.
Those are extra. An additional grand.
Yeah, Jake's an arse at the beginning.
Yeah, it's all about the money for him, because at first he wanted the money in order to keep his mother safe, because she was taken out and then she ended up passing away, so now pretty much the only thing Jake cares about is money.
Aye.
The C virus. The same strain that you just took a dose of.
Dun dun dun!
Right now,
I can just imagine Jake going, "Oh, I smell an opportunity for money."
Well, I would say that, but a mixture of, oh, holy fuck, I'm not mutated into one of those things.
we need your blood.
This was one of Troy's favourite roles as well, because we both met him at the Scotland MCM last year, and I was asking him how much pressure was on him when he was doing this role, and he said tons. Because he was a big fan of the franchise in general, and he also told me that when they first started working on the motion capture, they spent like a good hour just discussing how Jake would walk.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where they wanted to really put a lot of effort into it.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but I think they didn't bother in the end because every character works exactly the same.
I think maybe just for the cutscenes, because the cutscenes have unique motion capture.
Maybe.
Have to shoot our way out.
Agreed. We don't have a choice now.
Right, this particular bit right here, you can go stealthy if you want, but me and
Or
Abby
not.
decide not to.
She's falling off.
Aye, that's one of those casual traps where it'll put an item next to a ledge, but you can fall off.
Yeah.
And this is how the stun rod works, folks. You charge it up and then you let it go. But you can also use it for quick stuns as well. It's much more, I'd say it's much more useful than the stun rod in Resident Evil 5.
Right. I'm more used to I think it's easier to use the 1 in 5.
Well, I'm more used to the 1 and 6. And yes, if you do get a headshot,
Bonk.
I don't understand how that driver didn't see Abby jumping across the ledge there.
Because he's an idiot.
Or that he has tunnel vision. And that there is an exclusive move to Jake. When there's red poles in the air, he can do a circus acrobat and... Yeah, thank you, Sherry. He can do a flip over that pole and then get some shortcuts.
Yeah, Sherry has to take a long way around.
Give me a hand.
Now, what Abby's supposed to do at this point was to pull me up, but she's gone on ahead to activate the next set of ladders in order to continue on.
Also, that line from Jake, this is starting to feel like work. You can really get a sense of his arrogance early on.
Aye.
But I love Troy's work as a character. He does a great job with it.
Indeed.
He has just the right amount of snarkiness and charm to keep him... what's the word? I'm trying to think.
Maybe you should look up a dictionary.
Oh, shut up. I do love his work, though. And he also did the motion capture, not only for the cutscenes, but for all the hand-to-hand moves as well.
I thought that would be handled by a traditional movie or game development where the actor does all the facial and all and the lines, but someone else does all the body work.
Well, Troy's pretty capable. You've seen his work in The Last of Us. He did the motion capture
Well,
for...
what I mean by that is I'm talking like high kicks and flying kicks and all that. Right, watch out for the sledge. You can fall off.
Yeah.
Like so.
Every time. Every time.
Well, not every time. It's like, see, if you go, like, you see those two panels there, the left and the right one. If you stay on the right, you will fall, but if you stay on the left, you will miss it.
More often than not, I always fall off. Kind of annoying.
Looks like the BSA have got their work cut out
And there's
for them.
Chris and his men taking on the tank on the bridge that we saw in the previous campaign, which you helped me at.
Yeah.
Tank, Stevie?
Oh, shut up. I didn't die.
Well, you thought, oh, there's a big tank.
Probably in dying stats right now as we speak.
Oh, I'm Big Chris Redfield. I'm going to take on a tank.
If you guys
tank, I go into dying status when the tank shoots me.
Folks, that was the very first time I ever got hit by the tank. And I didn't know it was instant dying status if it managed to hit you. And I was lying on the ground as well, so I'm not sure how that hit me.
Fool.
So, it's coming from the guy who hit himself with a damn barrel in RE4. Check out our RE4 playthrough for context.
Right, what happens here is that Jake and Sherry have split ways for a bit, so on Jake's perspective, he has to run across falling platforms while a helicopter's shooting down on him.
Because the pilot's fucking blind and can't see that he's not infected.
Well, I, in the meanwhile, have to take care of these Joabo while I wait for Abby to get back to the surface.
You ever have those moments where you don't know if your partner's going to make it out safely or not, where you dread it maybe cutting to their death scene and you're like, oh no.
Aye, because if you compare this to RE5, you don't get to see your partner's health apart from their ID name changing colour.
Yeah, when it's yellow, they'll have half their health, but when it's red, they'll have one block of health. If it's flashing, they'll be in dying status.
I think I do recall seeing that last night. Actually, I was helping this player get through chapter 3 of Jake's campaign, and it was that stealth section, and this person did not know how to input the code on the door without getting spotted for a while until he was down into dying status, but we managed to get through to the end and heal each other.
Yeah.
But
Just run by all those enemies there, they're nothing to worry about.
Aye.
Alright, where to?
Burger King.
No, you know what? I changed my mind. Let's go to McDonald's.
Well, what's this? A rebel or Edonian member who is smart enough to not take the C-virus? But if you're wondering what that thing is, think back to Leon's campaign, folks.
And paying homage to Resident Evil 3, we got a really big BOW here that's out for blood.
This is the Ustanak.
This name is the translated name for this. I think it translates to something along the lines of revolution.
And just like Steven said, folks, this is an homage to Nemesis in Resident Evil 3, where this thing will be constantly chasing after you throughout the entire story of Jake's campaign.
The only chapter it doesn't show up in is 3. Other than that, he's everywhere else, at least one time. Save me, Barrel.
Insert Hollywood explosion scene Michael Bay take 2 here.
Well, that's him out.
You think it would be that easy?
The Red Barrel failed us. The Red Barrel never fails us.
The Ustanak's here. I'm not falling for that Michael Bay shit.
And if you don't run away here, that's what's gonna happen to you.
Right,
Okay, we go with your plan.
at this point, folks, just run.
One dick-headed move here, the game places you in front, so you have to wait for a little bit before you turn around. Because you'll be facing the car when you start it.
Aye, there's been times where if you press down the analog stick, it could force you backwards, and and you might not be able to make it in time.
It catches you as instant kill.
At this point, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing!
And it will be in chapter 2 as well. Oh, I hate that chapter.
We'll get to it.
Ah!
Save me!
Something with women!
Insert growly Troy Baker voice here.
Now, gladly, Ustanak has been stopped by the big brick wall, so we're safer now.
What the hell is that thing?
You can't. Every time this Joel pops up from the loo cabinet, you can always melee.
Much appreciated.
No,
Right.
only Sherry can go up here. There's a serpent emblem up here as well. So
Yeah,
if you
I
want
don't
this-
understand why the Capcom did not bother to program where you can lift up your partner so they can get the emblem.
Is there a way to throw a grenade up, or do you?
No,
or
you
is it high
have.
up?
No, you have. It's because it's behind the hole here. But no, you have to be tossed up to get it.
Or maybe you could use an explosive round from the grenade launcher to hit that.
Maybe.
On the other character's side,
Maybe.
because it's not out of bounds completely.
And if you're wondering why I'm taking out single enemies like that, where I do a quick shot and slide and then the coup de grace, let's just say most of my time on RE6 was on mercenaries.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Especially me. Mercenaries is life. And in the PS4 version, you get to play No Mercy, which is even better.
Look,
Aye.
we can get out there.
But because I do recall in the original version of RE6 Mercenaries, it requires a lot of waiting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you do normal damage and take normal damage, and you have to counter everything and save the bosses for the highest scores. But No Mercy, just pretty much counter and go for the grenade coup de grace exploit where if you do a coup de grace after you've thrown a grenade and the grenade goes off, anything that kills it counts as a coup de grace melee.
And you can get like 80-second bonus on your time.
It's amazing. What? Clipping through the rocks.
Well, there's got to be they forgot to program at some point. Right, what I'm going to show off here is where most people might miss it, is where you can find the Magnum.
Yeah.
Because during the time of this recording, I did not know that you can actually go into the main menu and then choose to have all the weapons start from scratch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know that either when I was recording this.
Whee.
But yeah, that pole right there behind me, that's where the Magnum would pop up, and that's where you'll get your Magnum, which is the Elephant Killer. It's essentially the Smith & Wesson 500.
It's pretty much the same Magnum Wesker has in Mercenaries and RE5. Like father, like son.
Yeah, they're the only two Magnums in the game, actually. That and the Desert Eagle, which is in Leon's campaign.
And Chris has it in Mercenaries as well. Regular Chris. Kleptomania.
Oh yeah, that's right. Resident Evil in Mercenaries, and especially in this one, every character gets alternate costumes, with the exception of Carla and Agent, but their costumes are ridiculous.
Oh.
Hello, big man.
Someone doesn't want us leaving.
It's time for round 1.
I don't think he's too keen on us leaving.
Oh.
We'll just have to get over it.
Right, all you have to do, folks, is just shoot him until eventually a cutscene pops up where he takes damage.
Yeah.
But
Invincible.
yeah, so and he always does this shoulder dash. But he also has that claw arm, which can not only grab you at close range, but it can grab you at further range, like so.
If it grabs you, he'll start stabbing the shit out of you with those needles like he did that other guy. You'll take a lot of damage. Jake, I think we've got bigger priorities right now than your fucking money.
Now, one trick you can
Oh.
Yep. This is what happens when you get grabbed. But it's not instant death, you can break free.
It does a lot of damage though.
I knew you'd come through.
But what you can do to stun lock Ustanak is Jake's hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Which requires... The way it functions is basically... It's to aim at someone when using the melee, you just use exactly the same controls as if you were holding a gun.
Yeah.
L2 to target enemy, you charge up your melee beam meter with the R2, then you press R2 to go ahead with your punches while aiming at the thug.
It drains your stamina like crazy though. And did he just throw a grenade at you?
Yeah, he
I've
has
never
grenade.
seen that. Oh,
Yeah.
He's had enough of you.
Yeah, he's got grenades.
I never seen him throw the grenades in this fight.
You never see a lot of things, don't you?
Oh.
And that's round 1. Oh, they got blood all over the camera.
That was just an added effect for, I think, this game onwards.
Aye.
Oh, RE7 does that a lot as well.
This mission gets harder.
Well, I think the way it did in RE7 is to visually tell you how much damage you're taking.
Got a lot riding on us.
Right, here is Jake's going to tell us a little bit of a backstory of himself.
This is pretty creepy, actually. This next corner we're about to come up behind.
And with all the mannequins.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their tease for Resident Evil 7, considering they love the mannequins there.
Why are you
Yeah.
telling me this?
But there's down in this hallway when you aim down that is creepy. That thing right there. What the fuck is that?
Maybe the precursor to the damn creepy clown thing in RE7.
Kind of what you signed up for.
Happy birthday.
That's my choice. But dying for no good reason doesn't sit right with me.
And up there is the third emblem of the chapter for chapter 1 here.
Yeah.
That thing is just like the Juar.
Again, all the emblems do, folks, is that they unlock files and figurines.
Do you guys wait for the dialogue to finish?
I don't think so.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, but every time you're next to a wall, if your enemy's next to a wall, you'll always smash their head against the wall as a melee attack.
Better off as a mercenary.
Yeah, you're pretty much better off as a mercenary, Jake. You're if you only care about if only you care about now is money. Oh, look who it is.
National security.
The BSA's Golden Boy.
And here we are is another story intersection where the two campaigns meet.
Very rarely though, nowadays you'll get an intersection because not a lot of people are playing the same chapters at the
Aye,
same
because
time
not only
anymore.
that, but the conditions have to be exactly the same in order to match it. Whether you've had friendly fire, infinite ammo, or agent hunt on.
It's even worse for unlocking the alternate costumes because you have to play the online modes to unlock those, and barely anyone's playing them anymore.
No, that was a pain in the arse back in the PS3 version with, what was it, Resident Evil.net.
Which is still up, but no one uses it anymore, pretty much.
What? Nothing.
Hey Stevie, it's you.
Oh, nice to see you again. But I've got bigger things to worry about right now.
Aye, like, where the fuck is Jill?
That is a very good question.
Oh boy. It's
Yes.
this thing again.
But yeah, this is essentially the same area as Chris's campaign.
Except we're playing it from the perspective of Jake and Sherry.
Big entrances, big.
Aye. Well, I hope you're ready for the next part, because it's time for a boss fight. Next time.
To be continued.
Aye. And with that conclusion, we'll see you in the next part, folks.